Hey guys, it's Black History Month, and this month I'm going to be highlighting some things important to Black history in the genres that I normally cover. Starting with Black Panther. It was a special moment in history for Black people for many reasons. I said it before, if you look up Representation Matters in the encyclopedia, you'll find a picture of Black Panther. So today I want to talk about that representation and all it entailed. But first, a message from me. So a few years ago, I did a thing. I wrote a novel titled The Fairy Princess Enter into Time. You can see the fairy princess here on my t-shirt. The book is about a young girl from the south side of Chicago who discovers she's a fairy princess. Her godmother is kidnapped and she must learn how to use her powers while trying to save her. The book is available on Amazon and Rakuten Kobo. T-shirts and other merch are available on my website, thefairyprincess.net. Links are in the description. First, let's start with Black Panther's origin. The character of Black Panther first appeared in 1966 in Fantastic Four number 52. He joined the Avengers in 1968, but didn't get his own comic until 1973. For a little while, he was known as Black Leopard to disassociate with the radical Black Panther organization, but eventually went back to being called Black Panther. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created Black Panther because of the dearth of Black characters in comics. So they recognized that representation matters way back in the 60s. When it was announced they were going to dedicate a movie to a Black superhero with a 95% Black cast, there were ripples of excitement amongst the Black community. Even though I'm an admitted DC girl, I was just as hyped as the rest. And it didn't just stop with the cast, there was also the crew, starting with director Ryan Coogler, co-writer Joe Robert Cole, executive producer Nate Moore, production designer Hannah Beachler, costume designer Ruth E. Carter, hair Camille Friend, specialty jewelry designer Dorian Fletcher. All of these people came together to create a cinematic Wakanda, the secret East African nation that had never been colonized due to its discovery of vibranium, which gave it its wealth and technology. Everything about Wakanda was fascinating. From their customs to the clothes they wore to the Dora Milaje, the female warriors dedicated to protecting the nation. On the first viewing of the movie, I was mesmerized by the thought and care that went into creating this nation. Everything was first rate: the culture, the technology, the environment. And after you get past the setting, the story was thought-provoking and engaging. The story of two cousins, one African American, fighting over the right way to move the country forward in a modern society. T'Challa, born and raised in Wakanda, wanted to continue to protect his people. Killmonger, born and raised in America, wanted to protect Black people all over the world using Wakanda's technology. He wanted to start a war. Many people identified with Killmonger. The boy left behind, rejected by his own people. They felt he was right to spread Wakanda's technology. I saw his point, but didn't agree with his actions. Eventually, T'Challa would agree with Killmonger and bring Wakanda into the light without the war. To have a comic book movie bring up subjects such as colonization and the interrelations between Africans and Black people was unexpected, to say the least. The story brings up an important point in representation. Just watching this movie, I felt like for the first time we were really delving into the complex relationships between Africans and Black people, with each other and with the world at large. There is a tension between us that can be traced back to the Middle Passage, where Africans were sold into slavery by their own people. The movie also gives us the fantasy of seeing what Africa could have become if untouched by colonization. Africa is rich with resources. Not quite like vibranium, but valuable nonetheless. But the resources have been robbed by colonizers, and Africans on the whole do not benefit from the export of their own resources. But in Wakanda, we see a civilization allowed to flourish and advance, untouched by the outside world. And the sequel shows what happens when they open those doors. But I won't go into that. Beyond the cultural importance of the script was the business of the movie. Before Black Panther, studios were hesitant to fund films with Black casts because of the belief that they wouldn't be able to be sold overseas. The $202 million opening weekend disputed this. It went on to make $1.3 billion. Black Panther wasn't the first Black superhero film. There was Blade, Meteor Man, and Steel. But it was the first to put a lot of care and money into representation and being something that Black people could be proud of. And it was super successful because of it. Blade comes closest to Black Panther's success, but all three films combined didn't bring in what Black Panther did. And even though Black Panther wasn't the first, it was still a historical moment for film, for superhero movies, and for Black people. It was the film that representation built. It was the first superhero film nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, and it is my favorite comic book movie. So how exactly did Black Panther's moment in history affect you? Did you feel seen? Did it open your eyes? Or were you just excited to see another good Marvel movie? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know the next time I upload or go live.